Today's date is the 26th of February 2024. Welcome to today's current affairs discussion. Let's start the discussion. First of all, we will see our first article, Rasina. Why is the 9th session of the Rasina dialogue in the news about the dialogue which is right now? That is why it is held in Delhi, so it is in the news about Rasina dialogue. If you see it, then it has been inaugurated by Prime Minister Modi ji. Who was the chief guest this time? You can keep Greece's Prime Minister. He was the chief guest this time. Where was the obvious? You understood the event in Delhi from the name. So why is it named Rasina? Okay, why is it named Rasina? Its simple region is a Rasina location in Delhi. There is Rashtrapati Bhavan. It was first held there in its name, so its name. But its name was Raisina Dialogue. Okay, this time the theme is a matter of, this year's theme is Create 4C Conflict Contest Cooperation. The theme of the bar was 6 pillar, meaning it had 6 pillars, important on 6 pillars. The focus is on the 6 pillars. You don't have to remember everything, just see it here. First, it talks about technology. The second talks about peace. Third talks about war and peace. The fourth talks about decolonization. Fifth talks about the 2030 agenda. The sixth thing is about democracy, why it's happening in such a hurry. Look at this article. What questions can be made in UPSC prelims? If you look at it a bit randomly, UPSC won't ask questions this easy. Random questions will be made in current affairs. Then not everyone will be able to solve them. Some things you have to keep in mind. If the question comes, then you can answer this question using the elimination technique. Here, the reaction dialogue is important. Which session was held? UPSC never asks which session was held. So the 9th session was held. Where did it happen in Delhi? UPSC will never ask who did the inauguration. The Prime Minister did it, not important. Who was the chief guest? The Prime Minister of Greece. This bit can be used if you want to write the answer in mains or somewhere. It's okay. It was in the name of Rajsina in Delhi. You obviously know the location. What was the theme? The UPSC can ask. This time the theme was 4C Conflict Contest Cooperation and Create. Did you get it? You can remember the pillar, it becomes very detailed. UPSC won't ask in so much detail. If they ask, you wouldn't remember so much. Even then, keep a bit in mind about 6 pillars. The first pillar is about technology, peace, war, and peace is the third pillar. The fourth pillar talks about decolonization. Fifth pillar discusses the agenda of 2030. The last pillar discusses defending democracy. It's okay to keep these 6 pillars in mind. Who hosted it? This is important. Remember the Reina dialogue. It was executed externally. The event was hosted by the Ministry of External Affairs and was assisted by ORF. What is ORF? It is an observer research think tank. It was assisted by the External Ministry and ORF. The first Raj Sena dialogue was held in 2016, hosted by the External Ministry and ORF. The dialogue was initiated in 2016. It is an annual event and is held every year. So these things were important. The initial host was the External Ministry and ORF, and it first occurred in 2016. Yes, it was held every year starting from 2016. The event takes place in Delhi. Remember, the Prime Minister of Greece was the chief guest. Keep this in mind for your answer. The event lasts for 3 days. More than 2,500 people from 115 countries participated. ORF was established in 1990. It is a think tank. What does it do? It assists the government externally. The ministry helps that our foreign relations are foreign relations. What type does ORF work for? So there are a few things in it. If you remember that, then your answer will be created. How many people were there? How many days? What is all these things? It means it has been given in too much detail. If you read the article, you will understand. See this here. I don't remember so many things in detail and don't even ask. If you have given it, then you should not be in your mind that brother should not give it to us. We have kept reading from where the current affair remains. This booth's brother, where to study, from where to read. So many things do not have to be read. So much I ask, doesn't even ask, doesn't even remember. Will you do this or your statics? This is the core subject. Cover it. Your prelims will be out. Pay attention so much. No need to have a current affair. Happens. Okay, so our first article done. Let's move on to the second article. Our second article is about nanoparticles. What is about the article about nanoplastics? That our article, the second is the particle that talks about nanoplastics, that is small plastics, talks about why it's in the news, just found in research, that our 1-liter water bottle has thousands of nanos in them. Those who are plastic are found. You drink 1 liter of plastic, there are thousands of nanoplastics in the bottle of it. We also know the objective reason in the news, and the news is very important for us. No, a question will be made on this. No, we will see about it's about meaning. Let's see what is microplastic. Secondly, what is nanoplastic? Yes, what is the difference between these two? Can a question be made on this? Yes, a question can also be made on this. If there is science and technology, then something in such a way you can use in elimination what is nanoplastic, microplastic, or in the mains you can write how harmful it can be on this pens. So talking about microplastic, it is quite small, tremendously. Talking about the size, it ranges from 100 nanometers to 5 millimeters. I'm telling it size. Its size is from 100 to 5 millimeters. What is the source? Where is it found from? One is this plastic waste. It is found there. Industrial waste is found there. It has a presence, nor is it found. Where is it? Where does it come from? Talk about the source. Where is the plastic from? These are industrial waste, plastic bottles and so on. Microplastic is found now. Where is it found? Found everywhere. Go to the sea, go to the rivers, go anywhere, go to the jungles. Nowadays you will get to see everywhere what this microplastic can be. How is it made? It's hard to detect, you can't see it. If it enters your body, it's harmful. We've discussed microplastics. Now let's talk about nanoplastics, which are even smaller. Nanoplastics are smaller than microplastics. They are much smaller than the naked eye can see. They are invisible to the naked eye. They are found everywhere. You can't see them with your naked eye. They are a lot smaller than you think. They are found everywhere, in bottles of plastic too. This was a simple article. Question 1 was a bit informative, a simple article. Our third article is more important. It talks about an umbrella scheme for women's safety. Our article on women's safety is next in the news. Why has this article come out now? What could be the reason? The news came out because we now have a union cabinet. The Home Ministry proposed an umbrella scheme for women and suggested its extension, and this was approved by the union cabinet. Simply put, the news is that Home Minister is Amit Shah. He must have suggested to the central government, to Modi, that we have this scheme or umbrella scheme related to women's safety. Let's extend it for some time. Who would refuse Amit Shah? So the union cabinet accepted it. Okay, so the news itself is not particularly important. There's no major news that's important for us. So let's take a look at the scheme for a bit. It could be important. The news itself is mostly unimportant. The importance is revealed when you look at it more closely. So what is the scheme? Women's safety under the umbrella scheme means that the umbrella scheme is about women's safety. But if this is so, let's talk about it first. What it does. Why was the scheme brought? What is its aim? What is the purpose? These women. Talking about the safety of women, it works to ensure safety. The simple thing is to protect women or ensure women. How much is the budget? Has a fund of 1100 crores been allocated for this? Has it been allocated? You have to remember the budget of how many crores? No, you don't even need to remember so much data, even in mains. There is no need to give so much specific data. Then how much budget has been allocated? 1100. The fund has been done for crores. Some funds will be given by the Home Ministry, and some is there. Will be taken from Nirbhaya Fund. You also have to remember this data. From where did you get it? You will not need to remember this too, but you will remember this thing. Rakna Fund Hainawa central government is giving fund given by central government. You have to remember who will give how much from where. No need to pay attention to current affair. There are some things main pay attention to that current affair happens. Okay, so our first article done. Let's move. How much will the central government not give? Will fund it. There is some fund that is Nirbhaya Fund. You remember this thing will be given from this. It can become a question. Okay, I have seen this. Now what will be done in this scheme? What will be done in this work? How will it be done for the safety of women? The safety of women will be ensured. How to save women? How to make them aware? What are the problems for women? All those schemes that are running will be merged. All the schemes related to women will be merged. Seen about everything, not everyone will be mixed, everyone will be joined. Means that is the scheme, that is the scheme. Different data will be collected in it. Their benefit, that will be given to women. And anyway, there are many schemes for women. Running, as you will talk about women forensic labs. What first? There was not so much arrangement of forensic lab. Then if there was any such case of rape, etc. There was no proper arrangement for that, so now there is a pharmacic lab, it is enough. Advances are being made and also the safety related schemes are ongoing. The act is happening, much attention is being paid to it, so this work will be completed. We have seen the same. So he talks about FR, about the umbrella price. He talks about an important little article. What is the article? Our fair and remunerative price. Then the first FRP would have been the fair and remunerative price. What is this? Then why in the news? We will see first in the news. Later we will see about it. It has come in the news because the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, CCA, the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, has approved the FRP for sugarcane. You should understand the new simple thing that the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs has just started. The FRP for the sugarcane has been approved, that is. The FRP will be activated now. The new simple C for sugarcane is understood. Now we need to see what it means. What is FRP? Now we see what it wants to say. It wants to say, which has now been approved, for sugarcane's FRP by the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs. You must have heard the MSP World minimum support price for which farmers and so on are protesting. Whatever you are doing, it happens that there is an FRP. So we keep listening to MSP again and again. Why don't we listen to FRP? You listen to MSP because it is MSP. It is not a lot of crops. Pay is given on 23 crops. So many crops are given in it. If it comes, then it becomes a very serious issue. So listen to the name of MSP. You live that FRP is not such a big thing. That's why you don't hear the name of FRP. Yes, you must have understood this thing. Now, for whom did the FRP go? FRP is given for sugar cans, like we give minimum support price. That is, for those who have 23 crops, they give minimum support, right? FRP is given for sugarcane. Talking about the definition, that price, there is a minimum price below which you cannot buy sugarcane. As if you have this pen I have, I will sell in the pen market. I am the farmer. I have this pen. I'll sell it in the market. Okay, assume the example. Now this is a pen. You cannot sell it less than a minimum of Rs5, okay? Yes, minimum Rs5, then its price will be there. If you are not less than Rs5, you can sell it will be considered FRP. Pen is a sugarcane minimum from Rs5. You cannot sell less. If it will be FRP, then the minimum price is less than that. But the sugar mill is the owner of the sugar mill. He is not the farmer. Can't buy sugarcane, at least at that price. It is buying sugarcane. You have to buy. That is the price. That is FRP. The same MRP is MSP. Whatever paddy you have from farmers at MSP, that is minimum price, whatever crop you have. Yes, you have to buy it. That is MSP. Like MSP as FRP. FRP is for sugarcane only. MSP is 23 in it. MSP includes MSP. You will understand the definition in this FRP understanding. Simple, this is the thing to do, FRP. Minimum works like a support price. It functions as the lowest possible price. You've comprehended the concept of FRP. Now, how is FRP implemented? Meaning, what are the conditions under which FRP is fixed? Similar to how MSP is established, there are other criteria for that. So what is the standard for applying FRP? What does it mean? Is the price of FRP set by these standards? Now, the first determination in these standards is regarding its quantity. How much sugar can we get from the amount of sugar cane given to the sugar mill? The distance it has been transported from and such things. What is the current price on a global level? All these things are taken into account while determining the FRP. You've now understood how the FRP is calculated. Have you understood the criteria? Who decides it? Who resolves that FRP should be implemented? Who decides it? Then it is decided. There is a commission for it. The Commission for Agricultural Costs and Prices, or KACP. This is the commission. Who does the recommendation? FRP decides. You have to remember this. It's very important. UPSC can ask this. By whom is FRP decided? Who gives the recommendation? The recommendation is given by the Agricultural Commission for Agricultural Cost and Prices, CACP. And who decides? The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs decides. So you should remember these two things. Most important questions can be asked on this. Now, FRP was started on the recommendation of which committee? The FRP that was started, there was a committee formed, Rangarajan. It had given a recommendation that you should start FRP for sugarcane, like MSP for other crops. Start FRP for sugarcane. Now keep this in mind. Is there any statutory provision, any legislative reform, etc., any legal provision? Talking about its provision, there is an act related to calculation that was passed in 1961. Apart from that, there is the Essential Commodities Act of 1955. It is regulated through them. The MSP is decided by the central government. The Economic Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs remembers something in his, you can keep it. It is not from this if the central government has spoken. That this will be FRP, you can sell any red tackle on this basis. That you can sell a sugarcane for Rs 100, is it the state government change it? Yes, the state government can change it through the central government. Whatever FRP is decided, the state government can make changes in it. Remember something, it can become a definitive question. On this, you put it in your mind. The state government can change the FRP, okay? And advise the state government. Who will give meaning as given to the central government by the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs? If it goes, then the body of the state government is the state advisory price. SAP is a body. She will decide at what price it should be counted. Then the state advice price is, remember its name too. What does it do to the state government to decide FRP? If you advise for FRP, then we have seen this FRP. Now that we've talked about sugarcane over and over again, let's take a closer look at it. Let's first talk about where sugar comes from. What are the benefits of using so much sugar? Look at your sugar. It can be regular sugar, jaggery, and so on. It's made from sugarcane. No, it's also made into kansri and kanchini. And yes, there's ethanol as well. All these things, the sugar, the jaggery, the molasses, they all come from sugarcane, and ethanol, it all comes from sugarcane as well. Okay, if we're talking about sugar, then which are the top sugar producing states in India? Where is the most sugar produced? Uttar Pradesh is number 1, then comes Maharashtra, followed by Karnataka, followed by Tamil Nadu and Bihar. These are the top sugar producing states, remember that. Minimum works like a 5 to 100 centimeters. That rain should be rainfall. How should the soil be? The soil should be deep, and the rich soil should be loamy type soil. So loamy should be soil, okay home, and one should be hot weather, should be a hot and humid climate. Then this article should be, one of you has to remember is how the condition should be for sugar. Okay, what can you get from sugar? Okay, top state for sugar, which is okay. Then what means if the central government fixed the price? The state government can change it. Yes, these things are there, you remember in it. If you can keep it, then this was a very important article. Let's go to our next article. And the next is our article on flood management and border area program, related news, why flood management and border area by Union Cabinet. The program has been approved, so news is not very important in the news. If you look at it, first of all, it is a centrally sponsored scheme. Government-sponsored schemes mean both the central government and the central government. If you give money together in this, then there is a centrally sponsored scheme. The central government and the state government both will give money for the flood, technical support to the central government and the state government. It will also provide financial assistance and financial assistance. What is objective? The objective is to stop the flood, stop the erosion, thus work to stop whatever infrastructure and damage occurs. What is the nodal ministry? What is the nodal ministry for this scheme? Which is the nodal ministry? So the Department of Water Resources is the nodal for this. And which ministry does this department belong to? This department comes in the Ministry of Jal Shakti and the Ministry of Jal Shakti for this. When was it launched? In 2007? It was launched and it came 5-year plan. During that it was launched, the 12th 5-year plan was by it. What does the launched component mean? How many categories are there? Under this scheme, 90% is given by the central government and 10% by the state. It varies for different states. You don't have to remember the exact distribution between the central and state governments. It was part of another scheme. Let's take a look at that. The scheme involved discussions on flood management. Flood management is a state and central responsibility. Therefore, it's a centrally sponsored scheme. The scheme had the center and the state working jointly. Who was the nodal ministry for this? There were 3, with Jal Shakti being the nodal ministry. It was launched in 2007. Now we will talk about border area management. If it's an international matter, then 100% is given by the central government. The task here is to manage the international border and water. How can it be managed? How they are managing all these things have to be dealt with. This must be dealt with in all respects under border management. And this also involves water management, which is the water resources, that is the Ministry of Water Power. It works for this of the Northern Ministry. Then this will be our complete article. Now let's see some questions related to this scheme. Yes, you are okay to come see this in the homework. Now see the true and false ones for tomorrow. You were the first about IBSA. It was Bangladesh and India, not Sri Lanka and Brazil. It was not Sri Lanka. South Africa was there. So this first will be our mistake. It will be false. The second was started by Napoleon about the French award. Yes, this is true. About the third, Quaker, was this vulnerable? No, this is false, not vulnerable. It is endangered. So this is our question. Then microbes. This is about the marine ecosystem. So the option in this will be corrected. And you see this, geography is related. So in today's discussion, that was all. Thank you very much for the discussion.